What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle for the next episode of Don't Starve Shipwrecked. My name is Splattercat, and we are going to have to start a new embarkation, unfortunately. We got wiped out in the last episode by rogue meteors, unfortunately. I am not really totally sure how to deal with that entire mechanic. Maybe we have to go to sea during that point? I've read that the meteors follow you, and they only fall where your character is, and so that would seem to suggest that once you know that the meteor season is coming, you should stay away from home and just be migratory. You should become a nomad for a while and just stay away from it, but much beyond that point, I don't really know what else to talk about there. We got wiped out, we got killed by a meteor, and then we respawned on an island with no resources, and so I allowed monkeys to kill me by burying me in an effigy of shit. It was amazing. It's fantastic. Let's play the game, shall we? I don't know who I want to play this time around. We're going to do Shipwrecked. And then for our character, I'd be okay. I think I'd be okay with Willow. Willow would be a strong one that I'd lean towards. Wendy's alright. Her sister's really, really useful when you need her. When you need her sister is fantastic. We've got Wes. He's okay. I think one of these people, yeah, I was going to say, one of these characters, like, can't eat food that's not, excels in battle, gains power from fallen foes, only eats meat. Yeah, I'll probably stay away from that one for right now. Not so good at the game that I want to rely on only eating meat. I want to go with either Woody or we'll go with Wendy. Woody or Wendy. You'll see when we come back. I'll see you once we start up. The loading screen messes up the recording. And so anyways, we'll come back in once I start. Alright, everybody, we're back in. I decided to go with Wendy, actually, instead of the other characters. Woody and, what's her name? I'm sorry, this is Willow. Woody and Wendy, I sat there and I thought about it for a while, but you know how I am. I waffle when I have to make decisions. And then I sit there and I can't decide what I want to squeeze the trigger on. Because I start thinking of all the outcomes, like my brain starts racing with all those branching paths of what might happen. And then eventually I started up with Willow for some reason. Not really pleased about the way the last episode ended. In all honesty, our last death felt a little bit, well, the thing about Don't Starve is that you're almost unanimously going to die whenever you come across one of the new stimuli. And by new stimuli, I mean the challenging stuff. When you run into the new mechanics for the first time, it almost always ends up killing me unless I adapt very, very quickly. And so it can be difficult to tell. Ooh, this island is not looking super sexy right now. This island's looking like we may need to vacate the area and just not hang out here. We'll see. There's got to be a jungle area around here somewhere. I hope. Either way, let's get started. She's got a lighter now. What does her lighter do? Oh, it just gives her like a permanent light source, so she's basically got a torch that she can carry around all the time. That's actually really, really useful. That's a good ability. She used to start fires all the time. I guess they added this as a new thing for her. But back in the day, she used to just light fires all the time. Whenever her sanity got low, she would just start setting stuff on fire. I think back in the day, the fires made her sanity come back, too, or something like that. I don't remember exactly. I haven't played Willow in a really, really long time. I almost always either play Woody or Wilson. Almost always, between those two characters. I like Woody a lot, which is actually one of the reasons why I stepped away from him in this series. And you might be going, Splattercat, why would you do that? Well, the reason why I would do that is because while it seems like a really good idea to play a character that you're really attached to and that you've played a lot, it's too familiar, and I run the chance of getting bored whenever I do it. So I wanted to play somebody I hadn't played in a while. And then my stream playthrough that I currently had going, check it out at twitch.tv/splattercat.com or Splattercat Gaming, twitch.tv/Splattercat Gaming, yep. twitch.tv/splattercatgaming.gov.com.everything. Yeah, not everybody has a .everything site. .everything sites are special. They're difficult to get. You gotta know the right people. You gotta have your homies up in Congress. You fist bump, and you get yourself a .everything website. Sometimes you gotta have one. It's a prestige thing to stand out among the crowd, even if I gotta shout out loud. Tonight is the only thing you say. We're gonna stay there. You can notice me. That song gets stuck in my head so easy. That song kept me up all night the other day. It was stuck in my head. You know how you get a song stuck in your head so you can't sleep? Happened to me, and that was the song. The song from Goofy movie with Powerline or whatever the hell that guy's name was. I can't tell if he was supposed to be like the Goofy version of Prince or Michael Jackson. He seemed like he was somewhere in the middle. Other than that, I have no clue. We've got a little bit of flint. Oh, there is a little area over here where we might be able to hang out in the tropic. Okay, the flood season's going to be iffy. I've heard that the sandbags are actually bugged right now. I was reading around on the forums trying to figure out how I could have like a better playthrough next time around so that I wouldn't die so horrifically. And people actually said the sandbags are supposed to act like little sponges. They soak up water in a radius around themselves. but supposedly they are not working at optimal spec right now. So I think we'll probably spend one day on this island. We're going to focus on being very, very migratory in this playthrough. I am going to set up a base, but the way that I've determined we are going to try and survive the next summer period, which summer is when the meteors are falling from the sky, or the volcano. You got random bolides flying around. Anyways, when the volcano is erupting, the best way to survive it seems to be staying migratory, just being nomadic the entire time, taking on a gypsy or traveler existence and just moving along, moving along. Actually, we haven't picked up that much food either. I'm a little bit concerned. We'll chop down a few more of these trees. These are not for replanting. These are going to be for eating. I don't think we're going to dwell on this island anymore. This will not be the house of my father, and we will not defend it. We will leave it to its ruin in the days of Denethor of old with the Borodrim. I'm just making up Lord of the Rings sounding shit at this point. The Borodrim and the Horadrast. It's always just like random words like that. Must have been fun to write that book, though. Can you imagine a world where fantasy literature didn't really exist? All you had was folklore? God, there's so many trash fantasy. I always call it trash fantasy because, let's be honest here, most fantasy novels are not incredibly... They are neither incredibly intellectual... Oh, there's a water... Oh, I want that over there. Neither are they complicated reading. Usually, like, for example, I'm reading Gotrek and Felix again right now, which is my favorite trash fantasy series, aside from the Brothers Majir section of Dragonlance, which I like very, very much. Although I like Caramon. Most people swing towards liking Raceland. I can't stand Raceland. He's a little shit. I can't stand that kid. I really like Caramon, though. Caramon... I feel like Caramon's the kind of guy that have your back. You just hang out with him for a while. Anyways, those are my two favorite series. I'd never liked Raceland. I've always felt like Raceland was kind of a trendy character. Kind of like Drizzt, I guess. I just don't feel him. I don't know. Something about brooding, angsty characters just burned me out. I think I liked him a lot, though, when I was like 15 or 16, so I think it's also, it might be age-related. I'm not really sure. Now I want characters who are like manly dudes that get shit done and are competent. That's all that I care about. After 10 years of working in retail and doing random jobs, all I want is a hero who's competent. As long as he's competent, I am stoked. Like, that would be the best. Like, wait, the hero of your book is competent? He doesn't screw up simple tasks? Well, sign me up for reading the next 1,000 pages. I will chop down a couple more of these trees. This will also give us a really, really good wood supply to get started with. I don't know if normal, like, walls will stop the creeping of the water either. You know, it wasn't that bad, though. I didn't find the wet season to be that terrible once you adapt to it. I mean, there's food everywhere. It's really, really difficult to get yourself killed by the rainy season, I think, as long as you realize you can eat the ice and you can do some other random little tasks here and there to keep yourself going over the long term. However, the volcano season represents a much larger task, a much larger and much more daunting task. That's going to be an issue, so we'll see once we get back over there. I don't even know what season we've started in for right now. Until the days start to elongate and change around, we won't be able to make a proper call as to what we should or should not be working on. I've heard you can actually start like a week away from the volcano season as well, and since the game is in early access right now, it hasn't been developed completely. They don't have the console in yet. There's like a little console type deal before you start a campaign in this game where you can enable and disable the things that you want, and you can start on like the day that you want and all that kind of stuff. That hasn't been added yet, and so you're kind of just starting randomly at the moment and hoping for the best. Got the campfire right there. I'm going to chop another tree. I need to get rid of this axe. And so, frankly, if I deforest this entire island, I don't feel that guilty about it. Oh, there's a snake. Snake! There we go. Hey, get away from my... Oh, I killed a bird. Hooray for me. I guess I flipped the bird. He did flip. I flipped the bird. You're gonna have to send me off to detention. There was a kid that flipped my dad off. My dad was a baseball coach one time for our... Oh, shit. Well, that's not exactly what I wanted to happen. Anyways, my dad was one of the coaches for a baseball team I was on one time, and this other kid flipped him off. This is probably like 6th grade or something like that. And my dad's kind of a hard ass. Like, he would have kicked my ass for it, but since it was somebody else's kid, like, he couldn't smack the shit out of him. And so, anyways, my dad made him run laps for swearing or something like that. Kid flipped him off, and I was like, oh, I thought shit was about to go down, but nothing happened, weirdly enough. When it comes to other people's kids, you're not allowed to discipline them. You kind of just have to take it. When you really apply that, other people's kids basically have, like, all the power. Occasionally, you find that one crazy person that's just like, nah, forget this, YOLO, and they just flip out on somebody else's kid. But those people are few and far in between. Like, most people won't go to that length of like, well, it's a child. And they're just like, let it go. 6th grade, though, I think is big enough to have your ass tanned for getting too far out of line. I would have never flipped my dad off. That was a nope. Not for a second. I called my old man out one time, and it was over real quick. It was a bad idea. I felt better about it, though, because everybody I know has called their dad out, too. I thought that was just like a thing that I did because I was an asshole when I was like 17. But no, apparently everybody did that. I felt better about it. Like, oh, cool. Well, I don't feel like such a dirtbag anymore. I still feel like a dirtbag, but not that much of a dirtbag. We need vines. We need vines really badly. I just realized that we are vine deficient, right? Oh, no, we're not. We got a couple of vines over here. These'll work. Oh, we got some berries, too. Yeah, buddy. It's berry time. How excited am I to find berries? Very excited, I think would be the proper terminology. My fire hasn't gone out, has it? And by my fire, wanna cook on some berries now. Wanna cook on the berries and eat them. Cool. Berries have been eaten. The only reason for my gluttony is actually because I needed to get some vines and I needed space in my inventory to use said vines. So let's go ahead and chop these little bastards down. I'd like to get a 2-stack of wood before we leave too, but I just don't know if we're gonna have the time. Chop all these down. Perfecto. God. My neighbor's dog's been barking all day. He's pretty gnarly. He's like this little Yorkie dog, and he just like leaves him at home and locks him in a room when he goes to work. And this dog just sits at the window all day, just arf, 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 arf. It's nonstop. Every now and again, he'll get tired of arfing, and then he'll go to sleep for like a few hours, and that's when I try and squeeze in my work. That's when I'm like, all right, quickly, record the episodes now. It's unfortunate. Apartment living is the worst. If I could just skip this entire phase of my life, I would. In a heartbeat. Like, if I could trade, like, a testicle for a house or something, I would strongly consider it. Apartment living is just, it's rowdy, like 24 hours a day. It's like, people don't care because they're renting. Like, I'm a really good neighbor. Like, when I move into the neighborhood, I give everybody my phone number, and I'm like, hey, if I'm making noise, if I'm ever bothering you, here's my number. I just came to the neighborhood. My name is Matt, because it's difficult to get angry at somebody you, like, know, and so I, like, introduce myself to everybody. And so, anyways, upon doing that, I don't understand people sometimes. I don't understand people. People are cruel. Not even cruel. I think people just don't give a shit. I think is the real thing. There's like, I don't care about my neighbors. I don't know that guy. Like, well, I introduced myself to you, and I was in. Oh man, there's a bunch of bottles over here. The reason I like bottles, because drop those stones. I'm not gonna need them right now, anyways. The reason I like the bottles is because they flag up islands for you to explore. And they make your life a little bit easier. The bottles I haven't found any real use for just yet. You can make them into like a telescope or something like that. Or like a periscope or an eyeglass or a spyglass or something like that. It works okay. It's alright. It's not my favorite item. I think there was another bottle. No, there wasn't. Never mind. That was in my other playthrough. Having trouble keeping shit straight right now. Having trouble keeping shit straight. I have like 5 different playthroughs of this game going at the moment. And so I basically look at whichever character it is, but then my memories of all the different islands that I've explored and all the random stuff that I've seen, they all kind of just blur together, and it just never seems to end. I'm hoping they'll patch pretty soon. It's been about a week and a half since the game came out, and Klei's usually pretty good about patching hotfixes every other week, and they're pretty good about monthly updates, too, to content. So anyways, we got a sail here. We really have no choice. We got to figure out some place to be other than this island. This island over here, I don't trust it. It's a little too shifty. It's shaped like a smiley face, but given the amenities that are on board, it actually fills me with chagrin and sadness. Chagrin has the word grin in it, though, so it always makes me feel like it should be a happy word. Like, how are you going to be a word about being just vexed and just it fills you with just irritable feelings, you know, and then you're going to put grin in the word? It's like having smile in a word that means you're unhappy. It's just like, it just seems odd to me. Seems like somebody linguistically messed up. God damn it, Webster. We should probably follow these sandbars. It's possible that they may... Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Let's check this island out. There are temperate areas that have like tons and tons and tons. For example, one time from one island, I got over 60 sweet potatoes. No idea why the island had spawned that way, but there's Dane the Hiccup showing up as per usual. It's one hiccup. I get it right in the middle of every monologue. Dane the Hiccup. Let's just swing around. Oh, there's gold here, which is good. Okay, so that's number 1. I'm going to keep ahead. Oh, there's monkeys, so that's a -1. Although we can just burn these down. It's not that big of a deal. Like, what I could possibly do here is just be like, and no more monkey problems. I don't think they attack you when you set it on fire, either. Like, it should be good. I've never actually sat here and observed, though. Maybe I'll sit here and watch while their house burns. Because I'm a psycho like that. But if I could keep the amount of monkeys on the island limited, that would fill me with joy. So there we go. I'm going to light that one on fire, too. Now that both of those have been eliminated, if we're going to live here, we utterly and completely cannot deal with monkeys. 100%. They are just a big, big problem that cannot be dealt with. She takes no fire damage now, too, which is pretty sweet. So every time... Oh, we got spiders, too. Okay, that's farmable. Alright. And we can actually pit the monkeys and the spiders against each other. Ah, we got more gold on this side. We got a touchstone. All things are leaning towards me saying this is going to be our island. I think this is going to be the place. I think this is a good call. I think this is a place where we can make long-term survival happen. The monkeys are... You can deal with them. They are fixable. We can handle... Oh, look at that. And there's a marsh biome over here. Please tell me there's water beefaloes. Oh, if there are, this will be the perfect island. If there are, this is the most perfect island I have ever seen spawned. This will be the stuff. But for right now, let's work on some of the basics. Let's work on hustling out some of the basics. I will probably make my base right here just because it's flat. There's not a lot of stuff around, and... I mean, the fire vents, we can deal with those as time goes along. So, hey, monkey, keep your shit to a minimum. I can plant trees over here? Oh, we'll do that too. That sounds good. I'm sure there's some kind of, like, internal balance for using her lighter. There's no way you're allowed to just, like, hang out with this lighter and never have to build a campfire or anything else. Looks like it's actually worse than a torch, too. Okay. Well, let's get a temporary fire going. Once we got the temporary fire established... Oh, we need a science machine for that to work. Let's... Since there's monkeys around, it's going to be difficult to drop anything around here. I'm going to cook up some of my food. I got to clear out inventory space real fast. I may plant some of the coconut trees instead of eating them because I think we're good on food for right now. Got us close enough. It'll work. Oh, we got the limpets, too. I forgot we had limpets. Okay. There's no limpets on this island. So, food-wise, this island's a little bit not quite so great as our last one, but it'll work. I think we can make this all hang together here. If I break my machete tomorrow, once the day starts, then I can break out a pickaxe. I can break out... Yep, exactly. Perfect. That's what I need right there. But I need to break my machete first. So let's go ahead and snap off a couple of these over here. We're going to need these for sales anyways. And so I've actually got like a real plan right now for what I'm trying to accomplish. So step 1, we land on the island. Step 2, we make pointy objects. Step 3, we use those pointy objects to kill and slaughter all plant and animal life that gets in our way. Step 4, we build super awesome boats that have armor and stuff like that. Step 5, we wait until volcano season and then we set sail. And that's it. That's my plan so far. I haven't really had time to put it all together much better than that. Do the monkeys build their own houses? Wait, that's a prime ape hut? What does a prime ape do? I don't know what to think about this right now. I mean, as long as the monkey huts are gone, I'm good with it. If I could get the spiders to fight with the monkeys, that'd work too. I'd be totally okay with that. Alright, so the monkeys have awakened. I have not broken my machete, but... I'm going to attack them real quick. And then we're just going to stay as far away as we can while they throw the duke at us. They threw up their dukes, literally. Come on. I just need them to stay at a distance for now. Perfect. Alright, so if they're going to stay at a distance, let me mine this out real quick. We may get hit in the face by flying dookie, but we need stones and we need a bunch of... Yeah, there it is right there. I figured they'd throw eventually. You never know. It's kind of off and on. Sometimes they throw non-stop, and then they leave, and they get bored. Oh, we got 2 out of that one. Good. Perfect. Alright. Fanciful things are happening with an excess of fancy at the beginning. I'm going to allow this to evolve a little bit over here so that they can fight with the monkeys. I think when the monkeys step on the territory, spiders should fight with it eventually. There's not a lot of seashells here, so I think staying on top of our sanity is probably going to be a smart thing to do. I don't know if the monkeys do the monkeys build their own houses, or are the houses pre-installed? And if you get rid of them, you've also gotten rid of the monkeys here. You get the hell on out of here. Now is not the time. And when they do that little chest bump thing, I usually get ready as though they're going to throw something at me. We got enough gold, and we got it in the first episode this time, which is actually a real major victory for us. That's going to be the first major hurdle just leaped over, you know. We totally went over that thing like a genuine pole jumper, man. I don't see too much else around this area, although we didn't explore this little fertile area either. We do have some sweet potatoes, which is great. I don't like sweet potatoes in real life. Sweet potatoes or yams, but my dad loves them. My dad's always eating that shit. Does not do anything for me particularly, though. No way, he just ate the What happens if he eats... Oh, he ate my mandrake. Dude. Oh, that's so upsetting. You also have bad hand-eye coordination. You can't throw dookie at me. I will be victorious. I think if you kill too many monkeys, a prime ape comes out, too. Pretty sure, anyways. Let's isolate ourselves over here. I need more stone. Okay, so while I'm waiting for stone to happen here. Don't need the nitro right now, or the niter. That's going to be for endothermic fires later on. You can actually use those to start better fires in the future. The science machine, however, needs to go down right now. Once we've got that all nice and squared away. Oh, I have manure in my inventory? I didn't realize I'd picked it up. Sure, pick up the manure right now. The sooner we start farming, the better off we'll be. Sounds alright. We got one over here. We got another rock over here. What I need that for now is to build the bigger, better campfire. And so if we could just get a couple more rocks, I think we'll be good. Building on a monkey island might be troublesome, because it means if we have anything get destroyed by lightning or anything else, we're going to have some fairly serious problems. However, given our current deployment, I think I could fight off the monkeys. It'll be okay. I may rue this decision later on, but for right now, I'm going to follow this emotion and just kind of see where it goes. We've got a fire pit. Once we've got that established, the next thing we need to find is coral or anything else of the kind. I will probably plant many of these over here. Just kind of spread them out a little bit. Don't think we've run across any coral just yet, but I think we will eventually. If we can find a couple of coral, we can make the limestone. Once we make the limestone, we can grab the sand and we can make the chimney. That'll be a big advancement for us as well. If we can get that solved earlier rather than later, I'll feel better about our survival prospects. The next thing we need to do is a little bit more deforestation. Can't be helped. Got to wipe some stuff out over here, and so that's exactly precisely what I'm going to do. I think if you kill too many monkeys, eventually a prime ape comes around and attacks. It's like a big gorilla-looking thing, and... There we go. We'll get rid of him real fast. Will save us a tiny bit of trouble. Fighting the monkeys constantly, though, is going to wear down on our sanity. I'm going to eat that very quickly. I was out of the way of that one. What are you talking about? There's no way that counted. That was way down to the south of me. Maybe the monkey island's a bad idea. Maybe I should just steal the gold from this place and make kind of like a backup base here, I guess. I don't know. I'm getting a little bit nervous about this. Dealing with monkeys all the time is going to be super obnoxious. Especially since you can't kill them. Like, they cannot be killed. You cannot catch them on foot. Like, you have to have a ranged weapon, and I don't see us having a ranged weapon for a very, very long time. So instead, what we could consider doing is survival-wise. Yeah, backpack would be good, too. Let me get a backpack real fast. And if we need an alchemy engine for the palm leaf hut. Okay. So I wanted to work on that next, but I guess not. We won't do that right now. Instead, let's research the shovel. And I want to tap this island out as best as I can before we leave. So we got that right there. Let's go ahead and get to digging. 2 gold. Ooh, wow, a whole bunch of gold from right there. Yes, please. And frankly, I don't even care that much if it, like, explodes in, like, one of those big... Oh, it didn't do it. Well, then I've got to worry about it anyways. Perfecto. I'm going to try and get as much gold out of this island as I can before we leave, just because it's a really, really useful resource to have. And you got to have it. You have no choice. Like, if you don't have gold in this game, you got nothing. Do I have time? Maybe. Nope, don't have time. Down to the south we go. We're going to camp out for a little bit. I think that's going to be the end of our first respawn episode. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me here at the Nerd Castle for the next episode of Don't Starve Shipwrecked. Bad ending last time, but I think we will recuperate. We will recover. We got a good island going right now with a lot of stuff on it. I might make just a backup base over here with the bare minimum essentials, like a chest or something, since the touchstone is here. Maybe put like 10 flint inside of it, a bunch of sticks, maybe a little bit of food or something along those lines, so that if I die and I respawn over here, I've got a better chance. So that the same thing that happened last time does not happen this time. But up until then, my name is Splattercat. I'll see you in the next episode. Hi do, everybody.